Hello, and I'm going to just give you a quick idea on how to vinyl car rims and stuff like that. Got the roll of carbon fibre vinyl off eBay. $30 was enough for 6 of my wheels with a bit left over. I think these are 15 or 15 inch alloys for a Holden 1 tonner. But I saw a video on YouTube that gave me the idea, and their rims were flat, they were square, they were very easy. I got around to doing mine, and because they're so curved, corners in there, it turned out a lot harder. So basically what you need is a hairdryer or a low-powered heat gun. Your vinyl, I've cut it to fit. Your wheel, give the wheel a good clean. I scrubbed mine with just multi-purpose cleaner a few days ago, and then when I pulled it off, I just washed it all down, scrubbed out, gave the inside a light scrub out. Dry it off, let it dry off in the sun or towel, whatever. What else do you need? A razor, cut knife, just to cut it. Sharper the better. But remember, the least cuts you do, the better it will be, because every cut you do is like human error wonky. Hello, Putty Tat. A washer or rag just to push it down without burning the back of your hands with the hairdryer, and a card. Mine's a bit wrecked right now. I got this out of a skin pack. I bought it off another website for my iPhone, but just a hard bit of card. Either if it's flat rim, you can use it to smoothen it out, but I'm using mine to push into the corners around the edge. So yeah. What you need? That's about it. Alright, so different rims will be slightly different, but with mine, I just got my brother. I can't do it and record. Sorry, so I'll just do something, show you. Just got my brother to help me lay it flat on it. Just stick the corners of it to the tyre, and just push it around the edge. And then get the hairdryer and start pushing it down the spokes, and then choose a section and push it in around the curves, and I'll show you what I do with these corners later. So yeah, just lower it onto it, stick it the corners to the tyres, and then just push it down onto the circle around the rim. My tyres are a bit thicker than my rim, like they stick out, so it's a little harder, but yeah, that's sort of step one. It looks cooler just leaving the vinyl on like that, doesn't it? Yeah, step two is just push it down on your spokes. If they're curved spokes and they're not like flat with the outside of the rim, you use the hairdryer. Really helps. Just the heat, instead of it being more plastic, it just bends, and it's soft, it's stretchy. If it's hurting your hand, like if the heat is too hot, you push it down with the towel. Yeah, you hold the hairdryer in front of it, heat it up, and then slide it down, sort of thing. Okay, now I've been doing this one segment of the wheel at a time, but on my case, use the hairdryer and the towel in your hand. Just push it. Don't try to slide it all. Push, and don't try to push and slide. Try not to do that, because if the vinyl's loose, and it usually is when it's hot, all the loose stuff pushes up into one spot, and it just makes one big crinkle. So you're better off heating it and just pushing it down with the edge of your finger around the edge. Have a good idea like what the pattern of your wheel is, so you know where the edges of the spokes are. In my case, because I can't stretch it into the corners of here, it's just not stretchy enough. I tried on my first wheel and it didn't go well. I am trimming it off around there. Now, the least trimming, the better, because every cut you make is going to be wonky. In the tiniest bit, it'll be somewhat wonky. So, the best thing to do is, if you are cutting, like for around here, I cut in a bit, and then heat it and push it around underneath the spoke, so you don't see the cut. That's the best way to do it. Same if you're doing it with interior trim of your car or something else. curve the edges around and out of sight. Yeah, I suppose I'll cut that now. Actually, I can cut that on video. Sorry if it's wonky, but... Okay. Now because there's a sort of square section on the side, I've got to cover up, cutting a bigger section for it. And there. And you've got a carbon fibre atom bomb cloud shape cut out. And the idea is, I'll heat it. Or whenever you're bending it, always use the heat gun hairdryer. It makes it go smooth and doesn't crinkle. So I'll push that round and that'll all curve under. I'll do that. Okay, so just use the hairdryer to heat it and push it down there. So the idea is that face and that face will be left silver. I'll show you for one. See, those two are left silver, and around the spokes is the carbon fibres folded. I could have left that silver and folded it into here, but I chose to do it that way. So when you get up close, see there, you can see the wonkiness, slight wonkiness of the cutting. So at least cutting is better. Okay, if you are folding stuff down like that, make sure you've got extra. Too much is fine, just cut it off. And basically what I'm doing is just knife down that corner, peel it off so it's, yeah, it looks good. And then heat this and push it under. If you want, you can just put little slices in that. It'll help it fold underneath easier. Won't stretch or wrinkle as much. So yeah, and there is one sector of the spokes. Cut curved around there. When you are cutting against your wheel, try not to push too hard, just enough to get cut the vinyl, because you don't want to put deep scratches in your alloy, because this stuff won't stay on forever. The outdoor life, it said on eBay, was like 1 to 3 years. So on a wheel, it'll probably be less heat, dust, dirt, scratching, hitting the gutter, you know. And when you put the slices, you know how I mentioned you could put slices in the vinyl just so it folds easier? Don't put them right up to the edge. Leave enough to curve around and then have it sliced, because otherwise it'll open up and leave a gap in the edge. Alright, I will do the other 4 and then I'll give you the next step. I've lost count of the steps already, so I'll just refer to them as the next step. Okay, then I finished that step. Yeah. Alright, the next part would be where your nuts go. I'm guessing. Lock nuts, what are they called ever? There's 2 choices. You can either stretch it around the outside, or you can stretch it around the inside of the hole. It won't cover the whole lot. Or what I'm doing is cutting around the edges, so there'll be none on the inside. It's the other putty tab. Also, if you get any small bubbles that you can't push the air out of the side or whatever, just put a tiny hole with the pin or the end of your razor and just push the air out and stick it down that way. Yeah, just do your best to avoid wrinkles in the vinyl. Where's the bubble? Yeah, I'll show you what I mean. Out of the way, put it out. Yeah. Tiny hole. There we go. Simple as that. And yeah, so I'll just cut these out and move on. Okay, that's just the holes cut out. I nice around the edges. And also, with your valve, if it's in the way of the vinyl or you're trying to bend it, just cut around it. Don't be careful not to cut the actual valve, but just cut a hole around it. See, try to cut it out because I didn't. The vinyl like that had cut out. I didn't need that anywhere. So, but if you need the vinyl, that's sort of in the way to bend around somewhere. You might need to figure something else out. All right. Also, in the center of wheels, they often have like the Honda symbol or whatnot. Mine has those caps. So if you've got a fancy symbol you want to show off, you want to cut around it. I don't really want to. I'll just put the cap underneath there and stick it out. I forgot to put the cap underneath back on one of the wheels after I washed it. So it's got a sort of hollow drum in the middle of it. Alright. Nearly done. Next part is around the edges. You can do the edges first or last, it doesn't really matter. Well, what the idea is, pull that back up off the tyre. Basically, I'm just going to use the card to shove it in. I'll put the camera down and do it properly. But just shove it in the first time, as far as it'll go. Then use the heat gun to soften and squish it in I go 2 more times. So first time, use the hairdryer and do it 2 more times. And do that all the way around. And then I'll tell you what to do next. Okay then, so once you've got it pushed in as far as you can, you simply get your knife and slice off the excess. Don't push too hard, you don't want to put holes in your tyres and whatnot. Just push just enough force to cut the vinyl. And there we have it. Now, because the roll I got was only just long enough to fit like 3-wheel length, because I wanted extra in case I screwed up a wheel, which I've screwed up. I screwed up my first wheel, so because it was my practice one basically, so I'll have to do that one again. But because my roll was like, I needed 42 centimeters across the wheel, and the roll was 127. That's 1 centimeter more than 3 wheel lengths. So because it was a very close square, I had to be pretty careful with lining it up when I'm putting it on. So there'd be enough just to push under the lip. But if you can, just cut your squares bits bigger, 3 or so centimeters bigger. It's plenty. Just so you've got room to work with when putting it down, and you don't have to be spot on. So yeah, that's that done. If you really wanted, you could probably get black bolts or something, blacken your tyres, black paint, might look shinier. Paint the brake calipers red, obviously. You don't know what type of brake calipers they are anyway. So that's it. Now I'll show you my practice wheel. How dodgy bits. See, some of it I pushed in like that way. Others like really crappy cuts in there. Where's the one? Yeah, that's the one where I tried to push it in so I'd cover all of it, but it just didn't stretch enough. It's not stretchy enough, it just ripped off eventually. So I'll do that one again. Maybe not today. I have to go do some stuff before sun goes down. Yeah. V6 1-tonner Holden Ute with a rooter bar. Alright. Suppose that's it. Put your wheel back on. Go do some burnouts. I wouldn't suggest burnouts with these. I might comment or post on how long they last, if they eventually come off or they start peeling. But who knows, I haven't actually, as of now, I've never uploaded a YouTube video. I've got one I want to do already. Then I'll put these ones. I want to do one for my sound system that I've put in, so. Alright then, thanks for watching.